Good evening and a very, very warm welcome to you here on DinamoTV. It is episode 31 and my name is Tonchi Prusats. I am going to be with you over the next 60 minutes or so. Just a word, this is a pre-recorded episode of DinamoTV for various reasons. We've had to do this beforehand, but still, nonetheless, pop your comments in the comments section. Keep the chat happening. We've got a massive show tonight, and that's one of the reasons why we've had to pre-record everything. We've got some huge guests. 3-goal hero from last weekend, Lucas Burns, is joining us tonight. And after last night's massive announcement that is making waves all around Melbourne, we have St Albans Dynamo that has appointed well-renowned, highly regarded Sydney junior football coach Jason Trefiro to the role of Junior Technical Director for 2025. A big shout out, and on behalf of the club, a massive, massive thank you as well to our Mini Roos Technical Director, Nikola Markovsky, who leaves us because of his commitments with Western United. But that is a massive appointment of Jason. We welcome Jason to Dynamo, and later on we'll be catching up with him, as well as our junior football operations manager, Stepan Gal, as well. Huge show, as I said, lined up, and what a way to start it off with that celebration in the dressing rooms after last week's incredible performance. What a big 5-0 win over Green Gully, and that's going to headline our news desk immediately after this commercial break. Folks, it is DinamoTV you're tuning into.
The I&D Group is regarded as one of the largest deliverers of concrete structure solutions in Victoria. Formed in 1994 by Ivan and Kathy Filipovic, their passion and commitment to getting the job done safely and economically has underpinned their success in the industry. I&D partners with large-scale building and construction companies in both the private and public sectors on projects large and small. With our corporate headquarters based in South Melbourne and storage yard based in the southeast suburbs, we have at our disposal thousands of square metres of quality materials, along with state-of-the-art lifting and crane equipment, enabling us to deliver the largest projects. We are committed to delivering high-quality projects by partnering with our clients and collaborating with project suppliers to ensure each job is delivered to exceed expectations. From humble beginnings, I&D now employs more than 1,200 dedicated professional and support staff, involved in a number of landmark projects right across Victoria. The I&D Group is a massive supporter of the Croatian community, backed soccer clubs in Victoria, and is proud to be the major sponsor of the St Albans Dynamo Football Club in 2024.
Someone who'll be crucial, who'll be leading the line for Gully today. So it's not all hope is lost for them this afternoon, but they're going to want to end their season on a high note. It starts here for them.
They are coming off 4 consecutive losses. Their last win came on the 22nd of June, a 4-2 win over Oakley. Flicks a through ball in, but Grigic is there first. Follows it up. They can go forward now, Dynamo. Challenge came through. Plenty of blue shirts around. Lovely running here. Slides it through, chance, and there it is, the first opening goal. And Dynamo get us underway here at Churchill Reserve. It was a beautiful finish in the end, Katie. Talk us through it.
Josh Fowler, say no more. Clinical, crucial, absolutely on point with that finish.
Almost 25 minutes played here at Churchill Reserve. It's the home side leading 1-0. Thanks to a goal from Josh Fowler. Another chance! And he makes it 2 from 2. And he's on fire. Josh Flower. What a hit, son. What a hit.
Absolute quality. Josh Fowler, double Asian club in some ways. I mean, Cameron Watson, that's his effect right there. How can players look at this team and think, hey, something's going on here, I might want in on this? Attracting someone like Josh Fowler, someone like, even Michael Martinovic, who has been fantastic this afternoon. There's a core here, and I think it's for them who they can add and really can they make that step into a final shaping team as Monik is in space here.
Going over, squares it. They're lining up at the back here. The chance, and that's 3. And it is Lucas Burns. And back-to-back goals. Okay, you're coaching Gully. What do you tell your charges for the second half? What is the message to them, really?
I think it has to be, reset, and just get yourselves back into the game, refocus, reconcentrate, and stay in each contest as it comes. To be honest, that has to be it. Stay in each minute as it comes, and just know that you're much better than what you've shown so far. I think that has to be a message from Falzon.
Lovely ball now, chance here. Can he finish? Yes, he does. Lucas Burns makes it 4. And Dinamo just carving up Green Gully. It was a beautiful ball there from Cabrera.
And understood that one loud and clear.
Chance now to Villa working hard. Cuts it by the byline, squares it in. Oh, Hallam told to get up there. Don't think that was a penalty. As Dinamo push forward here. Can they find the 5th goal? Seal the deal and make it their 5th win in a row. Good work there by Ayres. Cross comes in. Oh, it was Flower. And it's Burns. And he gets his hat-trick. More importantly, it's 5 for Dinamo. And Lucas Burns, after the touch from Josh Flower, didn't go in.
Send this long up the park here.
And that is it. The full-time whistle sounds at Churchill Reserve. And it's Ruben Dinamo taking it out 5-0 for their 5th straight win in a row. Cam Watson and his team have done an outstanding job today. It was a hat-trick from Lucas Burns and a double from Josh.
And with that result, the 5-0 win over Green Gully, Dinamo leapfrogs Green Gully into 11th spot on the ladder. And there's even a chance that this week they could leapfrog Dandenong Thunder with the final game of the season. Would have been unheard of 5 weeks ago, but coming up against the Might of South Melbourne, who really don't have much to play for. They've taken out the league championship. They've got a Australia Cup game coming up next Sunday week. They've also got, obviously, the top 6 final series to be played. And so really, it depends on how they're going to enter this last game of the season. Dinamo taking on South Melbourne at Lakeside Stadium at 3 p.m. this week. The under-23 is kicking off at 12 p.m. And a big shout-out and a congratulations to our sister club, Dandenong City, who last year were playing in NPL 1. They got promoted, and in their first year back, they've been able to secure a final spot. Well done to Dandenong City and everyone associated with Dandenong City. A big congratulations as well to our under-23s who defeated top side Green Gully 2-1 last weekend as well. So they are flying high now in 5th position and looking very, very good, I might add. So they take on second-placed South Melbourne, and Tuna's boys and Berkey's boys, I'm sure, would be looking to claim another top 2 scalp by defeating South Melbourne, who are currently in 2nd position. In the women didn't play last week, but guess what? Altona City, who are our opponents this Sunday. Defeated Westgate. That means we're 4 points behind Westgate. We've got a game in hand, and we still have to play Westgate in 2 weeks' time. But before that happens, Tommy Pondeliak's ladies, they've got a crucial game against the very, very difficult Altona City at their brand new facilities, brand new pitch and club rooms at Kim Reserve this Sunday at 3 p.m. Moving along now to the Junior Boys NPL. There the results, as you can see, in the under-14s, a big 5-0 loss. The under-15s, a 2-1 loss. The under-16s, a big 4-0 win. And the under-18s managed to draw against Hume City, and so they find themselves on top. They still find themselves on top of the competition standings in the under-18 division. This Sunday, round 17, the under-14s travel to Altona Magic. That game's very early at 9 o'clock. The 15s are at home to Hume City at 11:30. The under-16s travel to Galvin Park in Werribee for an 11 a.m. kickoff. And then the under-18s, they take on Geelong Soccer Club at home at 1:15 p.m. Quickly looking at the ladders. As we know, all of our 3 teams are in Division 3, Northwest. The under-14s are in 3rd position. The under-15s are in 4th position. The under-16s in 3rd. And Mickey Pete's under-18s currently on top and convincingly on top of the competition standings. All right, folks, we're going to take a very, very short break. And after the break, it's time for our very, very first guest tonight. The 3-goal hero from last week, Lucas Burns. He'll be coming up straight after this short commercial break. And welcome back to DinamoTV. It's an absolute pleasure to have our next guest on the show. Mate, this guy, I think after the game, everyone was buying this man beers because he scored 3 goals against Green Gully last weekend. And he's one of the new recruits signed about 5-6 weeks ago that has been absolutely setting Churchill Reserve on fire. And it's an absolute pleasure to welcome to DinamoTV, Lucas Burns. Good evening, Lucas. How you going?
Good, Conchi. How are you, mate?
Mate, very, very well, as no doubt all the other Dinamo supporters around town are. The last 5 weeks have been absolutely scintillating, spectacular to say the least. But, mate, compared to your 3-goal effort on the weekend, wow, absolutely wow. Take us through that. I mean, the game obviously started really well. And things just went from better to worse. Obviously, you knew that you were safe from relegation, courtesy of the results previously with Manningham United going down to Heidelberg. But was it just the fact that there was no pressure, or was it the fact that things are just really clicking into place?
Yeah, I think both, to be honest. Obviously, we knew we were safe on Saturday, but coming to the game, we sort of kind of said to each other, why not? Let's have a really good game and put on a bit of a show for the fans, so we can all celebrate. And we stayed up.
Well, that you certainly did, and there's some footage there from the game on the weekend. And I think your first goal is just coming up now. Yeah, that's right, 2-0. So this is coming. Great build up, and it started on the defensive half. And just take us through this.
Yeah, obviously Luka Karabaja, yeah, sort of coming to Dinamo, I've tried to be in and around the box. We play really good football, and we get a lot of shots off. So I know if I'm in and amongst it, sometimes it just drops, and in that scenario, it dropped for me.
Yeah, and you seem to have really struck up a great great conversation, maybe on the field you have, a great understanding with the players around you. You mentioned Luca Chabraya, who we recently had on the show. Who are some of the other players that you're really finding you're just clicking at the moment?
Yeah, I feel like the front three, myself,
Look at
Joshy, and Joey, we're finding a bit of form right now, and I feel like watching back the game, we're sort of playing with a lot of freedom,
that. Yeah.
and it's just really fun. And yeah, we're sort of all chipping in our own ways and scoring goals.
Yeah. Now we've had Michael Martinovic on the show since he signed. We've had yourself, obviously. I think last week, or was it the week before, we had Luca Chabraya. And look, one of the things that apart from obviously Broxy, who we haven't had on the show, we've got to get him on the show.
Got to get Brooks.
Obviously, yeah, and Josh Fowler, of course. But you guys that have come in have just changed everything around. But not only that, the guys that have been here, that have been struggling throughout the year collectively, they seem to have lifted. And it just seems like a collective effort. Everything just seems to be doing really well. How important has the new coaching structure, Cam Watson and Billy Selesky, been to the whole revival of the team?
Yeah, Cam and Billy are amazing. And
Yeah,
sort of when I first came, they sort of emphasised that we're good enough, and it's sort of just backing ourselves in and believing that we can do it. Obviously, I played Manningham, a bit disappointing we lost, but the game after when all the new recruits came in, it was sort of like a new chapter.
yeah.
And the new chapter, 5 wins on the trot, and you can sort of see everyone's just playing with real confidence and belief. And I think that's sort of been our main focus and the reason why we're doing so well.
Well, I'll tell you, on a personal level, I need to thank you guys, because when we're losing, it's very hard to put together an episode of DinamoTV. No, no one's excited. No one's to come on. No one wants to watch it. But now there's such a buzz around the club. And obviously, it's a big year for the club. The club's going to host the Australian-Croatian soccer tournament in late September. There's some major works being planned around the ground as well. And plus, folks, don't go away, because after this, we've got a major announcement to be made tonight. So all in all, it's just an exciting time to be at Dinamo. But a lot of it stems from the success the seniors are having on the pitch.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's really good, because even though it took a while and it's maybe not for you guys the best to leave it so late, but I think it's going to be really good to have this success at the back end and sort of move into next year in 2025, and who knows what we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And it certainly augurs well for a very exciting 2025. But let's, for a moment, not look into the future. Let's look into the past. Let's talk about yourself, Lucas, and your footballing career. You've had quite an interesting career. Tell us, from the under-12s, the juniors. You started off at Heidelberg United, I believe.
Yeah, as a junior, I spent 2 years at Heidelberg, and then I signed at Melbourne City Youth Academy in under 14s, and I spent 6 years there. So quite a long time. And last year I spent a year at Western United, and obviously at the start of this year I moved to Port Melbourne.
Yep.
And here I am at Dinamo.
Yeah, well, we're really happy that we've got you there. And you're still only, 21 years of age, so you're still a young fella, but you've really experienced quite a fair bit in your footballing career thus far.
Yeah, 21, turned 21 in July. But yeah, I feel like sort of with my junior years, I'm quite experienced and have been through quite a lot, wins and fails. So. Yeah.
Now, some of those fails including injury and coming back from injury, and some quite serious injury. Now, you had a back injury. Tell us a bit more about that and how you recovered. Maybe some words of advice for young players who are, coming back from a serious injury, and what they need to do and what sort of a mindset they have to have.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I fractured my back when I was 15. I had 2 stress fractures. You could probably imagine at 15, you don't really know too much about your body, and with a severe injury like that, I sort of didn't understand too much.
Mm-hmm.
Did all my rehab, thought everything was okay, and the next year I came back, and I actually refractured it.
Do we
So
know what was the cause of it? Was it too much football? Was it hard grounds? Was it a knock that you got initially?
So the first one was a knock.
Yep.
I played Hume, went up for a header, and I got tunneled and I fell on it.
Yeah.
But the second time around, it was the sort of the load. I did too
Mhm.
much, and it sort of reopened.
Yeah.
Words of advice, you sort of sometimes can get into a place where you're not training, not playing, you're away from the group in the gym. You just got to be sort of mentally strong. You sort of got to set out your goals and just believe that you can come back bigger and stronger. And in those cases, I did. And yeah, right now I'm feeling very good. A couple of years later, I feel like it's the best my body's been, and I think it's showing a little bit.
Yeah, so we've been really impressed watching you just tearing it up on that left flank. And have you always played in that position, or have you moved around over the course of your junior days?
My junior days, pretty much anywhere in the front third.
Mm-hmm.
Played a few games as a 9. But in the last sort of couple of years, I can play in the midfield as well as a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Don't mind it. I actually quite thoroughly enjoy it.
Oh, excellent! So you've got that real versatility as well.
Yeah.
This week, game up against South Melbourne. They're the league champions, the minor premiers, however you want to call it. They've got some big games, obviously in the Australia Cup, the finals as well. They're looking to make it a double. Obviously, with no national second division next year, that being put on hold at the moment, they're going to focus all their energies into the final series and into the Australia Cup. Can we knock them off and make it 6 wins from 6 games?
I think if you had asked us 5 weeks ago if we'd be
Yeah.
five on the trot, maybe we'd say no. But yeah, obviously you got to give South Melbourne major respect. They're sort of the benchmark and have been for a long time. But why not? I think with the confidence we're playing right now, who knows? I think maybe we can.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. Thank you very much for joining us on DinamoTV. Congratulations on your individual effort last weekend, but also the collective effort with the teammates. And we certainly look forward to this Sunday, the final game of the home and away season for 2024. Let's hope we can finish it on a high against South Melbourne.
Thanks, Tonchi.
Good on you. Absolutely. Thank you very much. That was Lucas Burns, and geez, what a lovely chap to speak to. And hope he can repeat last week's three-peat effort. Folks, don't go away. We're going to take a short commercial break, and when we return, we will continue with tonight's.
Westar Prestige is a family-owned second-generation business which is celebrating 50 years of operations this year. They're a specialist prestige collision repair facility situated in the western suburbs of Melbourne, Victoria. However, they service all regions in the state, with many of their clients travelling from far and wide to use their services. They're also able to provide a digital platform for quoting clients' vehicles who are unable to personally attend their premises. They're an authorised manufacturer-approved repair facilities for Mercedes-Benz, Tesla, Peugeot and Suzuki, and are proud of their ongoing affiliation with these brands. They also work closely with a number of Australia's largest insurance brands who entrust them to be part of their preferred repairer network. Their support staff are always happy to assist clients from the initial process of lodging claims through to the final stages of collection of the vehicle on completion of repairs and post-repair. So remember, for all your prestige collision repair needs, consider Westar Prestige, an award-winning, long-standing Australian-owned business.
And welcome back to DinamoTV. Let's move on. A former St Albans Dinamo player, junior and senior player, is headed to Italy to compete in the inaugural Transplant Football World Cup. Ante Kjelic, a liver transplant recipient, has been selected for the Australian team, fulfilling a childhood dream of representing his country. Ante was a guest on a podcast that I also operate called the Geelong Region Soccer Show on Monday night. Let's take just a look at just a small part of that interview.
Reason.
Yeah. Now, as you said, you come from a very famous footballing family. Your brother Ivan was well-known NSL striker, played for the Melbourne Knights and later at South Melbourne as well. And you yourself, growing up back in the days, you were a very, very talented footballer. But then tragedy sort of struck around about the age of 17, didn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I, from the age of 17, I was diagnosed with a liver condition out of the blue, really. Got home from school one day, was feeling unwell, went to the doctors and had some blood tests done. And from then on, basically, I had, was diagnosed with a liver condition. But then subsequently, a year after that, I ended up in hospital and then had Crohn's disease as well. So it was kind of, a digestive issue as well as a liver issue. And at that time I was, breaking through the seniors, playing under Mickey Peterson at St Albans Dinamo. But, I guess with all the treatments that happen as you are, trying to get on top of these different illnesses and diseases, the different side effects. So I'm, at my time after I went to Green Gully under Ian Dobson, I decided to just give it a rest and obviously let my health, focus on my health, because I was, with all the medications I was on, I was really, not very mobile, and it was affecting obviously my performance and stuff. So, yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to pursue, I guess, the semi-professional career that I wanted in the NPL or in the Premier League back then. But fortunately enough, I'm quite healthy now and trying to make up for it, I guess, at 44.
Yeah. So a great story there. And if you want to look at that, watch the full interview of with one of our very own here at St Albans Dinamo. Do go to the Geelong Region Soccer News Facebook page or the Geelong Region Soccer Show YouTube channel. Okay, we're going to take a break, another commercial break. When we return, the big one, an exclusive interview with newly appointed Juniors Technical Director for 2025, Jason Trefiro, who shortly is going to be making the move from Sydney down here to Melbourne. Folks, stay tuned for that. It's DinamoTV. Welcome back to DinamoTV, and after that absolutely fantastic little chat with Lucas Burns, the 3-goal hero from last week, it's now time for our next guest. And first of all, we're going to introduce a man who's been on the show many times before. He is the St Albans Dinamo Junior Academy Football Operations Manager, Stjepan Gal. And as was announced last night, the new Juniors Technical Director for 2025, Jason Trefiro. Gentlemen, how are we? And good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, it's good.
Good evening. Good.
Nice and warm in Melbourne, so it's
First
good.
of all, Stjepan, over to you. Mate, the last 24 hours, we've made the announcement about Jason, but this has been in the pipeline for a long time, and it's slowly starting to come to fruition. Massive plans for 2025.
Yeah, look, it's been, like you said, it's been something we've been sort of chatting to both Jason and Glenn about in relation to our 2025 program. Launching it last night, it's just really good for the junior program and where we want to sort of move into next year and the years after that. So, yeah, I think it's a massive coup for our club. In moving forward in the junior development space and sort of giving juniors and our juniors the opportunity to have someone like Jason in and around the club to help, one, help our players and two, help our coaches get better and more educated in relation to, how they do things. But yeah, we're stoked as a club to sort of have Jason on board for 2025.
Yeah, Jason, mate, we've already seen you were here in Melbourne earlier this year in April, and we've got a little bit of footage. Apology for the grainy vision, but the 2-day clinic down here in Melbourne, that was a bit of a, I guess, the fact finding mission, or not so much a fact finding mission, more of a familiarization trip. But what was the first thing or what was some of the things that struck you about that 2-day event and your interaction with a lot of the Dinamo juniors, I guess, and the parents as well?
Yeah, it was good to come down alongside Dinamo. I think to see the turnout that we had, and not really sort of advertising it too much, just within the Dinamo sort of community in and around the Dinamo area. We were really pleased to see the turnout, and I think the general quality was quite good, and we really enjoyed ourselves for those 2 or 3 days that we were there, and just to meet a few of the coaches around, the people running the club. Really good vibe, really good feel about it. So it was buzzing, and quite happy with how that went.
Yeah. Now, Football Tech, a lot of people have heard about it. It's an institution up in Sydney. It's got a phenomenal reputation. I personally went up there earlier this year with my son's team and saw firsthand the quality of not just the coaching but the execution of everything, the planning, the running of everything. Tell us a little bit about Football Tech, something that you've started with your brother Glenn.
Yeah, I guess Football Tech was probably something we started, 15, 16 years ago now, probably when we were still playing, and we just sort of we had a real passion with working with kids, trying to develop the technical base of a player, something that we sort of grew up knowing. We were technical players ourselves. And Football Tech sort of started just from just some general interest and just working with small groups, and then it just sort of developed into something big. And today, we work with over 500 plus kids a week now. So
Wow.
pretty proud how that's come along, and it's opened up a lot of other opportunities in terms of working with Dinamo now too. So
Now, mate, you yourself have been coaching, you tell me, for 15, 16 years, and in that time you've had some really successful outcomes or achievements. Tell us some of the more memorable ones.
I think, look, definitely for us the biggest achievement would be to take a player when they're 7, 8 years old, and talking about our Football Tech program now, and working with them from a technical point of view, from a person point of view, and to see these players that start with our sevens and eights, and they work their way through, and now some of them are playing in and around the A League and in various leagues in Europe. So I guess from a memorable moments, not so much like in terms of coaching teams, but I think the proudest sort of that we get is when we see a player that's come through from a young age and progresses into professional football, and that they become really good people too. It's not just about the football; it's about how they are, players that still come back and do training in their off seasons and touch base with our younger players, the next generation coming through. So I think that's probably some of our best, in terms of what our best things are. I think that for me is the most, the proudest I see it, when I see stuff like that.
And there's been some pretty famous names that have become Football Tech graduates. I believe Paul Ocon's boy. Is that right? Am I wrong in saying that?
Yeah. We worked with all four of them pretty much. Paulie now is playing straight at Benfica. John Lucas at Bruges. But yeah, definitely. Look, we like to think that we had a small part of it. Obviously, there's a lot in a player's development. It's not just one program. There's a lot, but yeah. I think in all our players, we've sort of helped in some sort of way,
Yeah, so. Fantastic. Now, mate, about yourself, let's get to know you a little bit better. Your own footballing journey from playing to coaching, and tell us how you arrived at the decision to not just go into coaching, but to make something out of it, like a profession.
Well, I definitely enjoy and love football. Otherwise, to make it my life, it wouldn't work, So. First of all, my passion and love for football came from a young age, and then obviously progressed through all the junior state teams and different sort of NPL clubs.
Yeah. Where did you start? Where did you start playing your junior football?
Junior football was, Blacktown City. That was
Oh, yeah.
probably my first sort of rep team,
Yeah, yeah.
NPL team. But yeah, bounced around a little bit, to be honest, because I was really trying to chase senior football.
Yeah.
From a young age, it was always about trying to push myself to get to senior football where I could crack a more professionally. So yeah, bounced around a little bit like that, and I guess that's when we started coaching too, because we're like, okay, you get to a point where you're like, okay, well, we need to do a job too. You sort of don't make enough money in sort of the NPL scene to do it full time until you turn pro. So, and coaching was a job where we knew what we were sort of on about in terms of football. So it was a job that we could do and then still go to training and still perform. So that's sort of how it all tied in together. And then as you get older, you get a little bit slower, you get a little bit less fit, and then you understand and realize, okay, it's time to stop playing. Now you sort of don't enjoy it as much either when you get to that age where you can't give as much anymore as when you were younger. But you can give in other ways, So, and we're coaching for quite a while, and then we just, I think the passion took over in terms of, I'd much rather be coaching now than playing. So, really took over, and working with children and being in that youth sector for so long now, I've got a real passion and drive for the next generation, I guess.
Fantastic. Now, you've spent a few years at our Australian-Croatian sister club, Sydney United. And obviously, the Football Tech annual juniors tournament is held at Sydney United every year. Now, if you could share some of the things that you've grown to understand about the club and the culture that surrounds it, and what's the thing that most kind of and captures you about the whole Sydney United, the club?
Yeah, I think. Look, my brother had some long playing history there too, so we sort of had already sort of a really good tie to the club. And then when we first started our project to try and mold the youth at Sydney United, we first started with the 13s, and then we ended up a 13s 14s team, and then 15s, and I've done pretty much nearly every age group all the way into senior environment too, where I've taken 20s to under 20s teams.
Yep.
I've assisted with the first team also, so I think what I love about the club and the culture there is the love for football. They share the same love and same passion for football. I think a certain brand of football also that we've always tried to sort of bring up now into our seniors. It's a very sort of dominant way of playing. It's not good enough it's not good enough just to win when you get to the seniors at United, and it's also not good enough just to play nice football. You need a bit of both, So, and that comes with a club with massive history like United, So I was very, very privileged and very thankful for those seven or so years that I spent at that club, and I'll always be a fan of that club too. I watched my brother dominate that league at that club for a few years. So it's definitely a love for that club, and I think now it's just time for something a little bit new, a new chapter. And happy to move on now.
Don't know about you, Stjepan, but I think Australian Croatians around Australia still talk about Glenn's goal, that goal against Brisbane Roar in the Australia Cup semi-final. Well, what a great run that was, wasn't it?
Top goal, top goal, top day too in the stands. I can tell you that.
Incredible. Yeah. Now, moving forward to the future, Jace, what are you most looking forward to at working within the junior academy setup here at St Albans Dinamo?
I guess, look, definitely a new challenge first, because I've been in Sydney for pretty much my whole coaching career, I could say. Definitely a new challenge to work with some like-minded and like-minded people and people that share the same sort of values in football and want to see the next generation do well and progress well. I think the challenge to sort of run a club program is what I'm most buzzing about, that it's in my hands. I like that little bit of, I guess, a little bit of pressure if you want to say, to say, you know what, it's in my hands to try and get these juniors to to a certain level where they can progress through the clubs and hopefully all the way into the seniors over years, you know. So I think, definitely new challenges, work with good people, like-minded people, and then try and implement the pressures of implementing sort of a program where we can say, okay, you know what, these players are Dinamo players. This style is a Dinamo style. And that's, I guess that's up to me to try and get that right, you know.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, I understand you actually know our senior coach really well, Cameron Watson, and you've already started discussing what 2025 could look like. Will there be some cross involvement between the seniors and 23s, and even say the under 18s, and then further down to the 16s, etc.? What are your kind of plans for moving forward in that regard?
Yeah, definitely. Look, speaking with Cammy, and they've done a great job to obviously keep the club up. Him and Selesky. So, I think, look, definitely there needs to be a bit of a crossover, especially when you get to that 16s, 18s, like you said. It's sort of like now, I think in world football too, it's not like you got to be a certain age to play seniors. I think it's if you're good enough, you're old enough. That type of feel around world football now. So you can't have two different programs. It needs to be sort of, we need to have a look at what the seniors doing. I need to understand what they want to achieve, and we have to understand, okay, especially in that JNPL space, how we can progress those players, some of our players, come 16, 18 into the 23s, and then from 23s into the seniors. So definitely we're trying to work as close as possible with them two in the seniors. So. There'll definitely be some work together for sure.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Stepan, we've just had your pretty face there in the corner, just waiting to ask a question. Have you got any questions you'd like to ask or put forward to, or comments to make about what awaits Dinamo families and juniors next year?
Look, I think we've sort of, this isn't something that we've done overnight. This isn't something that, we've sort of just, thought about yesterday or the day before and put into play. Probably been speaking for the last, 2 to 3 months with Jace in relation to this, sort of trying to get things right. And, there's been some tough questions. There's been some honest conversations in relation to, how we do things here at Dinamo and sort of the things he thinks he can bring into the club. And I think those things that he's looking to bring into the club are going to be game changers for us. That understanding one of those comments that he just said, if you're young enough, you're good enough. That's something that this club used to pride itself on once upon a time. That's what I was 16 years old playing seniors at this club. And so that's sort of starting to and resonate with me in a big way. So if we can give, these kids an opportunity to go through our system and be able to get into the senior team, I think that's the first step in doing the right thing. Then being able to tie in football tech into this as well is another great opportunity for our juniors to be able to access those extra coaching and extra sessions they might be getting somewhere else. So that's massive opportunity for our juniors. But in saying all this, having someone like Jace in and around the club and putting in the hours, both with the kids and the coaches, I think that's only going to benefit a lot of children in and around the club. So I'm really looking forward to it. Looking forward to 2025. I think it's going to be a really, really, really good year, and it's going to takes time. It doesn't just happen overnight. So I think that's probably one of the things that I'd like to remind people that Rome wasn't built in a day and all that sort of stuff. But it takes time to put these things into play and to practice. To build it within our culture, and Jace already has a bit of the Croatian culture behind him already, in spending time in sort of at Sydney United. So sort of understands how things sort of work and how they run. But at the same time, we're looking at bringing in some really good quality, really good children into the club from an under 18s all the way to an under 7s level to encourage kids to come to Dinamo and share this experience with us. both culturally and soccer player wise and development wise, boys, girls. So look, we're really looking forward to it next year, and really looking forward to sort of putting the plan in place. And we haven't had something like this for a while in relation to we've had Nico, and he's done a really, really good job over the last couple of years as well, putting things into place. I think now it's something sort of different, something new, to have that alignment between the senior team, 23s, 18s, and even potentially the 16s. I think that's something that no club has in Victoria. That's me just being honest. I think if you look at the back end of this year, from our senior team, we've had probably 6 or 7 kids debut this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
All under the age of 20. And these are in big games. These were in relegation battle games at one stage. We had Johnny McGlaris come in straight from the Resis into the senior team in a pivotal game. We had little big Luca Chabraya come in and do the job as a number 10. Like, you don't see that stuff enough.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm hoping. That's the big picture. But I think there's certain things we need to get right along the way, and I think with Jason at the helm, I think, and with the support behind him, I think we'll be able to get there.
And look, a big I was going to say big shout out to our under-23s coaching staff, Adam Tenanini and Ian Burke, who's done a lot of great things for DinamoTV this year, Burkey. But they were what, 5th on the table. Last week they beat top of the table Green Gully, and apart from producing 5 or 6 or 7 players to the seniors team, they've also started integrating a lot of the players from the under 18. So we're doing very well at that level. I guess this year all of our NPL junior teams finished, unfortunately, Division 3. And Jace, maybe that's a question for you. Is that something that you kind of immediately want to address next year, or is that, once again, let's look at the patient build-up and building the foundations first? The fruits of that labour may come in a couple of years' time, but in the meantime, we really got to get the foundations right.
No, definitely foundations right first. I mean, first thing would be to go around when I first get in there and to have a look at all the junior teams, because there'll be probably 2 or 3 weeks left of the season when I arrive. So really give everyone an opportunity to sort of show and impress in a way. It's definitely something that I think you need to try and set the bar. You need to try and set a standard where you go, you know what, is this good enough? Is it not good enough? There's got to be a bar set. It needs to be clear. Everyone needs to understand which direction we want to go in. And definitely, I think as a club, you need to try and progress. It's not going to be one where you're going to jump straight into JMPL 1. I don't feel that's not everywhere I've worked. It's not like that. If you do it properly and you want it to last, it's going to be more of a sort of patient approach. But in saying that, there can be little changes that are big changes in a way. You fix
absolutely.
And that could be that we're playing JMPL 2 next year. So we've got to definitely set, like you said, the foundations and understand where we want to go with this. Set that standard, set that bar. You don't want to set it too high where it's not reachable, especially in the first year or two. But everyone needs to understand where we want to go. And that would be my job also, to try and set that bar, set those standards. So. Well,
I'll tell you what, boys. If this conversation doesn't excite the Dinamo fraternity, the parents and the juniors. Nothing ever will. And I'm telling you what, it's very, very exciting. But just to finish it off, Jason, once again, congratulations on your appointment. But in your opinion, what are some of the key attributes a junior needs to really, really succeed in football? Maybe something that our juniors can work over the summer season in preparation for 2025.
Oh, look, definitely. I think definitely the first one that comes to mind is attitude. You've got to have an attitude that you want to do well. You want to sort of be the best. You might not always get there, but it's like anything in life, right? You got to try and achieve the best you can. If you're happy with second best, then it's not really on the same page as me. So I think you always got to try and every session, if you're putting work away from Dinamo, extra session, whatever it is, it's always about every time across the line to try and be as best you can. Yeah. So try and be the best. Definitely a hard-working approach. I know from my point of view, I'm not one to sit back and give instructions and to order people around and just watch. I actually am hands-on. I'm always hardworking. I'm pretty much on the pitch the whole time because that's what I love doing. So yeah, that sort of hard-working approach where nothing comes easy, because I can tell you every sort of pro athlete you've ever spoken to that's got to the top, then haven't said it's it just came easy, So
Yeah.
I mean, that's sometimes hard to instill now with kids, just that hard-working mentality where nothing comes easy, So definitely that resilience. You're going to have setbacks, you're going to have ups and downs, how you take both, how you take criticism, how you take positive and negative criticism. Definitely that resilience factor needs to be something. And then from a football point of view, I was a technical player. We run a technical program. Definitely technical ability is very, very important. For myself, I think for our club in general, moving forward, we want to see a technical footballer come out of Dinamo. We want to see a technical team play. Don't want to just leave it up to chance. And by chance, I mean, yeah, you might win a couple, but you want to be dominant. You want to be as dominant as possible on the front foot. Always sort of demanding more. Yeah, these are all things that I think that have set us in our ways. How we work, and it's been pretty positive around that style. Look, it's not for everyone. I can be honest. Some people like the sort of easy cruisy approach. I get it, but for me, that they're the first things I sort of look at.
Yeah. Mate, thank you so much for joining us on Dinamo TV. Stepan, thank you so much as well for joining us once again on Dinamo TV. Really appreciate it, gentlemen.
No, just one more thing, Tonch. Just one
Yeah,
more thing.
absolutely.
Yeah, we'll be launching sort of expressions of interest Friday night. So for the JNPL, both for existing and new players, so anyone that sort of wants to put in an expression of interest. So just have a look out for that on our on our socials, and yeah, we're looking forward to it. Looking forward to 2025.
Good on you. Thanks, gentlemen. That was Stepan Gal and Jason Trefiro joining us here on Dinamo TV. And that, folks, brings us to the end of episode 31 of Dinamo TV. Thank you so much for being a part of tonight's show. We really, really appreciated you being a part of it. And we will have the pleasure of your company again next Thursday night at 8 p.m. on all of our social media channels, social media platforms. Until then, good night.